Man, Vin, don't ever put a wig on. hey, bro, just go ahead and let's. We the same. What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Michael.
So we're here to do Morbius?
No.
Oh, cool.
We've done Morbius.
Oh, good, because that was trash.
You didn't like it?
It was hot garbage.
You didn't like anything about it?
I liked that it was over.
God! You didn't like seeing Keaton come in at the end? Or were you just upset to be like, now they're crossing universes?
It was bad.
Okay.
You wasted Jared Harris. That's like whatever Jared Harris is in this movie, you've wasted him for the entire rest of the MCU.
I mean, maybe he gets cast as something else. They bring him back as somebody else.
Maybe Thanos can just snap us back out of existence and make this movie not happen. From the team that brought you Spider-Man Far From Home and Venom. Morbius. Ooh. It was hot garbage. So we're not talking about Morbius.
No, we're not.
Cool.
But I wish I had known this was going to be your reaction about
yeah.
Morbius.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we're talking about Bloodshot.
Ooh. Vin Diesel playing.
You're excited about Bloodshot.
Vin Diesel playing Vin Diesel. This is when Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel.
Okay. And this movie got pushed back a month.
I'm happy with that.
It was supposed to be in February, and the only reason why I remember that is because it was part of the Sony deal where if you watched all these movies, you get digital copies.
Cool.
So it's supposed to be February, but now it's March.
I'm okay with that.
People seem to be excited about it. We both enjoyed the first trailer, and you were kind of telling me about Bloodshot, the character, a little bit.
This is going to be a hard movie to pull off. Not just because it's a comic book movie, not just because you already have a small, probably usually a loud minority who's going to be like, this isn't my Bloodshot, whatever, shut up, nerds. It's going to be hard to pull this movie off because how many movies have we seen of the unstoppable killer? Like, how do you make that? How do you make that interesting again?
You could argue that that's what Fast and Furious now is in terms of being unstoppable machines to do whatever.
I mean,
nothing stops them.
Was it you who called it? Which was somebody in one of our conversations? We called it the Car Avengers. I mean, that's that. I mean,
pretty much.
They literally created a franchise where it's like we're stopping nuclear warfare, fighting submarines with souped up cars with nitrous.
Yeah, and let me just say, I'm in for all of it. As stupid as it gets, keep going.
I'm not knocking it. It's just it's how do you take this genre of killer, cyborg, whatever you want to call him, but how do you take this trained assassin and then make it interesting when we've had so many of these movies? And what do you do that's different in this movie that gives you something that says, I like that. Mm-hmm. And because everything has to be a franchise, I want to see more. So,
comic book nerd, tell me who this is Image?
Valiant,
sorry. And Valiant also does Ninjak?
Yeah.
And
Ninjak,
Man of War?
Exo Man of War.
Exo Man of War, okay.
Ninjak, Livewire, Renegades, Harbinger.
Yes.
Quantum and Woody.
Do we think? I mean, who knows, right? But are they setting the stages to build a Valiant universe?
They've already effed their universe.
Oh.
Because Harbinger.
All right, let's talk about it after this.
Was licensed to another company.
Okay, all right. We'll get into it after this about where this could go. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We are leading the way in the greatest human
they started
He's unlike anything we've seen before. And he's entirely in our control.
Commencing memory fabrication.
And initiate sequence? What happened? You got yourself killed. You have been given a second chance.
I've developed an army of soldiers like yourself.
Improved, enhanced. Welcome to the circus. The technology in your veins will make you faster, stronger, and heal you instantly.
Something doesn't feel right.
They've been manipulating you.
Set the next target for
Hey, was that Winston?
Yeah, but that looks so cool.
You are my weapon.
You made me, but you can't control me forever.
They'll come for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
You can't get in, Kenny.
No chance.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Hey, Winston.
With the British accent?
Is he really British?
No.
I don't know. Black people now, they don't just be American black.
It is
British
amazing
black.
how actors will be whatever. You think, oh wait, that person's this?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Like, have you ever heard James McAvoy's real accent?
Oh yeah, it's thick Scottish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were British.
No.
Not at all.
No.
So
Everybody doesn't sound like they went to Cambridge.
yeah, as somebody who doesn't know the comic, it looks interesting. It looks
good.
It looks. I don't, and I'm not a film connoisseur like you, so I don't know. But I feel like we haven't seen anything in terms of the way he regenerates like it. I don't know.
No.
The effects look really good.
The effects look. This honestly, this is the effects that I think. Spoiler alert. Terminator Dark Fate should have had. Boom. Your movie sucked.
Are you just dropping sucking movies now? Is that what you're doing?
No, the Oscars came out, and we'll get into that later in the week, but it was just like another just kick in the nuts of just the same old
Stuff.
recycled crap that just really, I mean, it's just, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It breaks down the whole, it shows you more of the actual character.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you more of the science or a little bit of the special effects that you're going to be getting. It has a little bit of humor in it. I'm all on board only because I know Vin Diesel this had been a pet project of his. And I honestly say anything he cares about, he does a good job with. Now,
As crazy as Fast and Furious it is, you cannot knock the production value.
and he gives it his all.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain movies you can say about Vin Diesel, you were like, really? That's what?
Find me guilty.
Whew, man, Vin, don't ever put a wig on. hey, bro, just go ahead and we the same. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, it take me a little longer but yeah, don't go back.
Yeah.
He cared about the character,
Mm-hmm.
and what Sony did, which was, and I was trying to look up his name earlier because I won't be able to pronounce it, but if you go online to Twitter.
The guy you were talking about before, who we kind of, yeah.
I butchered his name, but he's one of the executive producers. If you actually click on the cast,
I'm trying to get to the thing.
it might actually pull up.
I'll work on that.
He's one of the original people from the actual Valiant universe. And again, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to butcher it because I do that too often. It seems to me that they did a good job of capturing the essence of the character. I liked the first trailer, but I wasn't a fan of that song,
Okay.
that rewinding. But I did get they gave you a good sense of where this was going.
So give us like a recap again of who. This is Ray Morrison. I think I looked that up correctly. Ray Morrison, a Marine.
Ray Garrison.
Garrison. See, I already messed up.
Ray
Ray
Garrison. Ray Garrison was a soldier who was killed, and then a technological PMC, so to speak, basically got his body among other people, men and women who died in battle, and basically they had been trying to engineer the perfect soldier to sell. So every time they would send him on a mission, they would give him a backstory, and they would wake him up, and then they would send him on his way. And Dinesh,
Is that who you think it is? That's what I.
that's
Okay.
exactly who it is. So go follow Dinesh
Shamadasani.
whatever.
Shamadasani, maybe.
Type in Dinesh, the guy who shows up with the last name of Shamdasani.
It's a spelling bee.
That's the guy.
That's
that you
the guy
follow.
you looking for.
I'm not gonna say the name because I'm probably gonna F it up. So you should follow him because he's giving updates on about the movie and little things. And this is the thing. He cared about the character. So that's one of the things I think, and I'm not to disparage any other comic properties or other things. Here's somebody you got who actually wrote the comics, who actually cared about the character, with an actor who actually cared about the property to make this film. Now, if it's going to be great, I don't know. Is it going to be good? I don't know. But at least they cared enough to collaborate.
That's a start.
That's a start.
Yeah.
So I want to say that the company is Rising Suns or Rising Tide, but basically this is a company that has been trying to make super soldiers, and they did it. They
Okay.
got it. Ray Garrison is Bloodshot, and I remember when the first trailer came out, and I saw it online, and that's why I was like, "You nerd, shut up." They were like, "He doesn't look exactly like in the comic," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like,
Sometimes you got to make concession stuff.
but the thing is, he did. It just
Okay.
wasn't the first frame.
Oh,
and so
okay.
if you go back and watch, so if you remember that one time when his chest was
Yeah.
and then he looked real pale,
Yeah.
that's how he looks in the comics.
Okay.
So they were like, the first frame isn't this thing that I grew up and loved and what? Shut up.
Uh-huh.
So this trailer, the very first shot was blood, and you're like, oh, so you leaned into this.
They want you to know this is
Cool. I'm all on board. They created a super soldier. They controlled him for a while, and then he broke free of his programming. And the other comics are him trying to discover his humanity, find out which memories are true, which memories are false. Then he finds out that this company had been doing this for decades. So there are Vietnam soldiers who the same thing happened to them, to where the technology had been going on. And it's funny because there's like, so he gets a dog. It's an interesting tale of him trying to find his humanity and how the technology changes and how they try to change him and use and manipulate him, and how basically how this type of soldier is, they're trying to proliferate the entire world
Right.
to have soldiers that you can control, a super soldier, which basically you can use for your own agenda, or this evil company tries to sometimes take over the world. And then
Okay.
you gotta punch them in the face and make them get back in their hole.
like a gopher.
Yeah,
Or
pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like whack-a-mole. Like
That's what I mean. Yeah, like whack-a-mole.
Like kind of
Okay.
like a company's like, oh, I'm gonna be good. You're like, get
Yeah.
your back in there, and then they pop up again over here, and you're like, get back in there. Kind of like what the
Fantastic.
Avengers do.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's expand on this. Valiant, you said Valiant has already shot himself in the foot because they gave away a
So
property.
if you go look up, so there's a book called The Harbingers.
Uh-huh.
The Harbingers are another group that have powers, but they can only use, if I remember correctly, they can only use the power one at a time. So like as you have like a subset of like superpowers, like flight, super strength, and you can turn them on and off. The problem is you can only have them on one at a time. So like,
Okay.
so Sony produced this movie. Sony made this movie, and everybody was all hyped because they were hoping Sony was going to make the entire universe. Well, Harbingers, if you go and look up, was sold to, is now being Harbinger Valiant movie. Let's see. Yep, to Paramount.
Paramount, okay.
So I knew it was one of those two. So basically, you can go online and look it up. So Sony's producing, Sony's making Bloodshot.
Yes.
Paramount is doing Harbinger. And the question becomes is, did you already shoot yourself in the foot by not allowing your properties to be housed under the same movie studio? Because that allows for collaboration, that allows for communication on how where your movie's going to, or franchise is going to go. Now, it could just be that Harbinger is done over there, and that becomes its own franchise, and then Bloodshot becomes its own franchise. Or you could end up in a situation where Disney and Sony are in right now, where
They work together.
Sony's like, yeah, we work together, but you also remember, Sony can take its ball and go home. And that's, Paramount could do the same. So I don't know where this is going to go.
Well, not to get too nerdy, we may have already passed it, but is it possible that they could do other Valiant movies and not have Harbinger at Sony and still make a universe?
Yeah.
Like Marvel did before they started
True,
bringing stuff
but
back in?
but the thing is, they're all interchangeable. And so what Valiant does, Valiant, as a comic company, I have to respect what Valiant does, because they make a finite amount of comics and they keep their universe contained. The problem is their universe is incestuous where it's all intertwined.
Okay.
So your Exo Manowar, your Livewire, they all have ties to each other, which you can tell these stories independently of each other. But if you're going to do an expanded universe, they all overlap because this world, they all kind of either hang out or fight or team up together. So there was a book called Unity that had Livewire, Exo Manowar, Ninjak, sometimes Bloodshot, because Bloodshot's kind of like the Wolverine of the universe, where he kind of does his own thing.
Yeah.
He kind of shows up, and he
Red
doesn't.
shop and then leaves.
Yeah, he. Sometimes he's used as a weapon against them. Sometimes he works with them if they. It's almost like, you good, Ray? Oh, he's trying to kill us. Run!
Okay.
And then it's like, you good, Ray? And he's like, oh, he's on our side. He's not gonna kill us today.
Okay. Cool.
So that's one of the things. I will say that I don't like that that Valiant reboots their comics a lot. So sometimes it is hard to like figure out where does this actual series. I have to go look and research. But Valiant, I will say this: Valiant does a good job of not having too many books like Marvel or DC where you go like, oh my gosh, where do I start? But they do have a little bit of problems with where you started with particular, like where does this come in relation to this. So they need to clean that up, but they have a ton of different series or storylines with any of these characters they can do. The Renegades are a group of kids who have powers. They're called Psyots, and you've got Toya, is it Harada? Yeah, Toya Harada, who is effing crazy. And he is like, imagine if Tony Stark was crazy, but then had like mind-altering and telekinetic powers.
Okay.
Yeah, he's smart like that. And he wants to take over the world.
Okay.
And he owned his own company, and yeah, you have that kind of person. Then you have Livewire, who was his like adopted daughter basically, who was a Toya, like just, I love you, Toya, and I will do anything for you. And then she realized, oh, you're effing crazy.
Okay.
It's almost like, do you remember when when Sister Knight was like, oh, you're an effing crazy person.
Oh, for True, Lady True?
She had that moment with Toya.
Okay.
And then they split.
Okay.
And so then she becomes the enemy of the state. The whole world tries to hunt her because she tries to protect Psyops. Like, there are some great stories in Valiant that they could easily bring on screen that are really relevant to what's going on today and would really translate very well. It's just a matter of how do they go from here when your Bloodshot movie looks really good, looks to be set up to do probably pretty well this year, and your other movie is in production at another production company, a movie studio.
Okay. So that's it, but in terms of this trailer, you're on board still.
I'm on board, yeah.
Let us know if you're on board for the trailer. Also, let us know what other Valiant comics you would like to see become movies. That'd be cool.
Toya Harada.
That's his, Toya Harada.
I'm going to make sure it's Toya Harada because I don't want to say it's...
He's going to look that up. While he looks that up, you can find us here. There we go. You can find us here on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, WOTX.com. Like, comment, subscribe.
Peace, we're out.